So there's another Ted Bundy project out there. Is this one any good? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we're going to be talking about the new Ted Bundy flick played by Zac Efron, and it's called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. Yes, I know it's definitely a mouthful, and try saying that a couple times. So basically, this film, the plot of this film is, it covers the Ted Bundy events, but it's supposed to be from the point of view of one of his longtime girlfriends. I believe the longest relationship that he had, during his lifetime, and that was with character Liz, who was played by Lily Collins, and so it's supposed to be from like her point of view. So it's supposed to give us like a different viewpoint of the whole situation. And interestingly enough, this film, if you guys saw the docuseries that was done on Netflix, it's done by the same exact director who did that. So I saw that docuseries and I thought that was, while extremely disturbing, I thought it was, a really interesting, series covering the whole events and situation revolving Ted Bundy. So if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you check it out. Especially going into this film, I think it'll give you just a different viewpoint, going into this. So, but yeah, so this guy, the director, it's supposed to be a viewpoint from Liz Collins, and which I thought was interesting, especially after watching the docuseries. I was really interested to see what they were going to do with this, and it had Zac Efron in it. He's definitely been on the rise as far as, he's come a long way from his High School Musical days to now he's playing Ted Bundy. And we'll start off there as far as, things that I really liked about the film. And that the biggest thing for me is definitely Zac Efron. I think he gave a incredible performance with this role, and he really came off. First of all, he's a good looking guy. He's extremely charismatic. And, he just really kind of fits the mold of what we knew of Ted Bundy. And I thought, he played the role of like, oh, you would never expect this guy to be a serial killer. So great performance for him. If anything, I would recommend just to check out this movie just to see Zac Efron's, role in this. So highly recommend it. He really flexes his acting chops here. Now, as far as how the film is shot and how it looks, I thought the director, he did a good job as that. The cinematography is done very well, so that was definitely another plus on my list. The best part of the film for me is definitely the third act, and that's when we get to see a lot of the court scenes, because pretty much this film starts where Ted and Liz end up meeting, and then it kind of ends with Ted Bundy's execution. So doesn't really cover like the whole thing, so because it's supposed to be just from her point of view, but I definitely thought that the third act was definitely the best for this film. Now, as well, the other thing too, as well as we had a good performance from Zac Efron, I also thought that Lily Collins gave a good performance as his girlfriend during at least like the beginning part of the film as Liz. And, you could really kind of see her, she starts off as in a pretty, good place. But she kind of just like deteriorates through, going on through the film, having to, put up with all the things that, she's seeing in the news and stuff about Ted Bundy and staying by his side. But you can really tell, kind of as the film drags on, that it's really wearing on her as a person. And I thought she portrayed that very well. All right. So now as far as the bad goes. So, I mentioned the third act of the film. I thought was really strong. I really liked the court scenes and stuff like that. That was interesting. But as far as the first two acts of the film, for me, it felt the pace was off a little bit at times, and just a little like jumbly. So at certain, that's not saying there wasn't good parts in those first two acts, but I did find myself kind of wondering like, oh no, is this going to be kind of a bad film? But it's not terrible. It's a little bit of a exercise to get through those first two acts. One of the other things I feel like that this film did is it really glossed over some of the material, and I know this is supposed to be from the girlfriend's point of view, and as far as just some of his crimes, it's not like I wanted to really see that stuff, but this movie definitely feels like a little glossy, a little too like Hollywood at times for me. And especially when covering a subject, as Ted Bundy, it just it feels like they left a lot of stuff out. And I know compared to the docuseries, which was like 3-4 hours or something like that, I want to say. It's a lot of material to pack into a film, but at times it just kind of feels, after watching that, it feels like, certain things were left out that I think would have made this a better movie. The last thing, too, for me, as far as, bad things, is that, like I said before, this is supposed to be from the viewpoint of the girlfriend, Liz, and kind of how she sees, Ted. And while you get that a couple times, it really, for the most part, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's because you don't really, at least to me, I didn't get that feeling. So that was something that was a little disappointing, because I was going into this film looking for like a different perspective of the whole situation, and I feel like you really just didn't get that. So, but overall, I thought it was good movie. Definitely, like I said, I would definitely recommend this just to check it out for Zac Efron's performance itself, because he did an incredible job. So highly recommend just checking it out for him. And as far as a rating goes, I would probably give this like a 7.5 out of 10. So have you guys seen Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile? If you have, go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. And if you haven't, I would also recommend, like I said, highly recommend checking out the docu-series, the Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes, because I thought that was really interesting. There's some really disturbing stuff in there. So for all of you avid true crime lovers out there, I think that you'd really like that. So, but yeah, that is my overall thoughts on the film. As always, make sure that you guys, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell button, so that way you get notifications for any of my upcoming movie reviews, interviews, things like that. And as always, make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.